What is going on, boys and girls? It's your pal right here, the one and only Black Avenger, aka the Black Azrael Lee Sanders, coming at you with an all new The RCWR show, reviewing this week's Lucha Underground on the El Rey Network. If you all may be looking for actual highlights of what you might have missed from this week's Lucha Underground, you want to head on over to Lucha Underground's YouTube channel at the El Rey Network. They always post little great highlights from what all you missed of each week's episode. Make sure you also give them a follow throughout social media. We'll put all the links in the episode description. As always, we appreciate you guys taking the time out to check out our Lucha Underground reviews. So, get the conversation started. Let me know what you had thought about this week's episode by posting those comments down below. You can also find us out throughout social media, such as on Twitter at the RCWR Show or on Facebook at Infinity One Productions. That's Infinity with an E. Make sure you put in the actual number one, Infinity One Productions. We took a little bit of a break last week due to the Thanksgiving holiday, so we didn't cover that week's new episode of Lucha Underground. So it's nice to be back in full effect for you guys. I gotta be brutally honest, this episode was just simply freaking fantastic. I mean, you sit there when you're watching each show every single week and you're saying to yourself, okay, it's got a little bit of something for everybody, but it's like, okay, well, how do you top last week? And somehow Lucha Underground just continues to be on this great roll where I look at last week's episode, and I mean, to say that they had a little bit of something for everybody is a understatement that in a big way, as we got introduced to another Lucha Underground star who I am guessing is going to be making his presence felt, or maybe her or its presence felt on future episodes. Let's go ahead and let's talk about some of the quick results. I give you my take on each of these matches. So, our show had kicked off with Dario Cueto in his office talking to Big Rick. He was actually congratulating him for the work that he had did to Johnny Mundo, putting him in his place and all that. As Dario feels now, he can kind of rest easily knowing that his problem with Johnny Mundo seems to be under control or whatnot. And as a result of that, Dario had gave Big Rick a very lucrative deal, which basically saw a lot of fettuccines to make him be exclusive to Lucha Underground. I was kind of under the impression maybe something like this had already been put in place. A little odd right here for me seeing this go down, but I tried to do my best to not nitpick on this and just got involved, just lunge myself is the words I'm looking for into the story arc and everything. From there, we saw Son of Havoc in the ring. He issued a open challenge to anybody. Be careful what you wish for, Son of Havoc, because your challenge would come in the form of AAA legendary wrestler Pimpinela Escarlata, who is basically a Hispanic Adrian Adonis. Just to kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea, I fell in love with this character. I've never seen this character before in my life, and I gotta tell you, this is the beautiful thing about the Lucha Underground promotion. For those of you that maybe never invested time into checking out the AAA promotion, a lot of the stars that are in Lucha Underground, they've done quite a bit of extensive work in the AAA promotion, of which Conan definitely lent his services to helping out over the years. So it's definitely making me go back and check out some good AAA stuff and all that. So special shout out to those of you that faithfully check out the AAA promotion. If you want to brush me up on a little bit of history as far as like key matches, rivalries I should check out and all that, y'all are more than welcome to post your comments down below. But when I saw this guy come out, originally I thought it was somebody that was mocking Sexy Star, and I'm kind of like, hey, that's not cool. But then, it finally kicked in after about 60 seconds. Oh snap, this is the real deal. We're actually watching this guy that is dressed like transsexual, if you will, come out. He's actually trying to fight Son of Havoc. And it was nice seeing Evilise Velez out there. She was talking a hot game, trying to do her best to put Son of Havoc over and everything. It's a great match. It was a great match. Really had enjoyed it. I knew exactly where the story was going as far as, okay, Son of Havoc, he's probably going to lose this match, but let's see how they tell the story and him losing. And you guys that might be Son of Havoc fans, of course, you all know him under different aliases. It was definitely a very entertaining match, especially from the standpoint that once again we had saw the Mascarita Sagrada who came out, and both of those guys, him and Pimpinela, they're up there in age. I don't know how many of you guys are aware of that. Pimpinela, he is 45 years of age. Meanwhile, Mascarita Sagrada, get this, and he moves pretty damn good for a guy that's up there in age. 49. He's going to be 50 years of age next year. How about that? Like in January. That is just insane. So, I mean, to see these two legendary wrestlers, from what I've been able to gather, come into the Lucha Underground promotion and help them out in a big way, I love it. I think it's fantastic. We had saw Son of Havoc lose to the newest addition to the Lucha Underground family, which is Pimpinela Escalada. Great, hilarious match right there. I see right now that we're probably going to see a intergender tag team match go down where Son of Havoc and Ivelisse Velez team up to take on Mascarita and Pimpinela, and I'm actually looking forward to it. I think that's gonna be one entertaining and hilarious match. I had to pull a Booker T on social media, not to mention I also pulled a Looney Tunes Tweety the Bird, and I had to say to myself on Twitter, did I just see Son of Havoc lose to a transsexual wrestler? And then I didn't follow up the tweet, but I wanted to put it out there and say, I did see Son of Havoc lose to a transsexual wrestler. Hilarious stuff right there. We saw another wrestler in action. This one was, I believe, an African American wrestler, but then again, he may be Dominican. I'm not really sure. But his name is Famous B. Yes, his name is Famous B. I'm trying to figure out, like, what does the Famous B stand for? Like, is it Famous Beats? What exactly does the B stand for? Famous Beasts? I'm not really sure. Excuse me. But Famous B, the wrestler, the little bit of information that I have available on him is as follows. This is a guy that has worked in the NWA promotion. He's also worked for, let me see here. I'm actually looking at my notes right now. Bear with me, guys. Yeah, he has been a very busy bee. He's worked for the AWS. He's worked for the Match 1 Pro Wrestling. He's also done some work for Mayhem Wrestling Entertainment, APW. He's done a lot of hardcore independent promotions, some that you've probably never heard of before. So, if this guy does things right in his tenure in the Lucha Underground promotion, I dare say he could make a very good transition into becoming quickly a Lucha Underground original. I was actually quite pleased with his performance as he had took on Mil Muertes. Give me a chance, folks. It's taken me some weeks to get used to these names. I'm paying attention to how the commentators are pronouncing it. Let's try that again. He took on Mil Muertes. And I was a little bit curious if Katarina was going to give him the lick of death. Sure enough, she did. It was a little bit more intimate for Famous B as she licked him from his chin to his lips. And I was like, well, it was nice to see Katrina doesn't discriminate. She will even give the lick of death to some dark chocolate as Mil Muertes had defeated Famous B. I believe Muertes won by a flatliner. He made quick work of him. It was really a squash match. Johnny Mundo, meanwhile, he did catch up to Don Quario in a restroom. mad about the fact that Cueto took away his $100,000 that he won on the debut edition of Lucha Underground. And as a result of that, he takes Cueto's key and says he's going to get some insurance. Now, here's my whole thing. Maybe somebody can explain this to me. Maybe I might have missed something that, like, maybe I don't know, but what the hell does the key go to? What does it go to? A deposit box, to a safe? Does it unlock like a boatload of cash somewhere or jewelry? What's up with this key? That's my whole thing. I mean, we've been focusing on everything else Lucha Underground related. When you think about the storylines and all that, and like the one thing, to my knowledge at least, that hasn't been really expanded on the most is what is up with the key around Dario's neck. So, what's so significant about this key? Why should we care about it? And that was mainly my problem throughout this whole episode, because later on in the night we would see Johnny Mundo come out. He had the key in hand, and he's like, Don Corio, you have 10 seconds to get out here and give me back what's mine. Give me my $100,000, or else there's going to be serious consequences. And he starts counting, and I couldn't help but say to myself, so what exactly is supposed to happen once Johnny Mundo reaches 10 seconds? When he reaches 10, what happens? Is he gonna like take the key and like stomp on it and bend it or whatever? I don't think that's gonna be possible for him to do. What exactly is gonna happen? So, to kind of make you forget about, hey, what happens when 10 seconds, or Big Rick comes out and he tells Johnny Mundo to shut up and everything. These two guys, they start going at it again. Conan, he yelled at Johnny Mundo from the top of the bleacher section, and he said to Johnny Mundo, hey, because of what's going on with you right now and all this mess that you've gotten yourself into, I'm letting you know right now, Prince Puma, you messed him up because you also cost him the opportunity to win the cash prize money. He's not going to be helping you. And then a couple of seconds later, we see Prince Puma. He's in there. He's helping Johnny Mundo. They're actually double teaming on Big Rick. They took him out with a nice, good, strong drop kick and all that, sent him flying out the ring. Puma, Johnny Mundo, they just start going at it with each other. But, I'm still kind of saying to myself in the back of my mind, what's up with this key? Why should we care about it? So if anybody can shine a little bit of light on that, I'd really appreciate it. I don't know, maybe they're doing this key like Pulp Fiction, and they're doing it like the briefcase. I'm sure you guys know your Pulp Fiction. You all know exactly what I'm talking about. If not, Netflix is your best friend. I know Netflix did a lot of revamping on December 1st with their movie archive, but last I checked, I believe Pulp Fiction is still on there. Fingers crossed. Really hope you guys appreciate a recap and review for this week's Lucha Underground promotion. If you do, please go out of your way to make sure you give this a thumbs up. You can share it a number of ways by Facebooking it, Google Plusing it, retweeting it. As always, it's one of the many ways you can spread the good word about our content, and we really would love to have you subscribe to us. Find out why here on YouTube. To date, we have over 9,000 subscribers with 5 million views and counting, as we post a little bit of everything. If it has you talking, we're doing our best to talk about it here on the RCWR show, as we have breaking news, slamming reviews, interviews. We do a little bit of everything, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, as we would love for you to be part of our growing family, as we even post live exclusive web shows here on our YouTube channel for those of you that need to continue to get that wrestling fix. Let's continue on with the rest of the matches that had came about. We had saw King Cuerno defeat Drago. That was a pretty solid match right there. See, what other matches can we talk about that came about? Main event match of the night. It was Chavo Guerrero and Pentagon Jr. taking on Sexy Star and Phoenix. And man, for a tag team main event match, You know, the name sounded good. I've already built some type of an investment with all four of these characters, but I felt the main event match was just a little bit flat because it kind of seemed like the emphasis of this main event match was to try to have Sexy Star come more and more into light and us marveling the fact that here is a rarity that is seen publicly on cable satellite TV, which is a female wrestler actually fighting the males, and it just really did not come off good on television. I mean, it definitely sounds good on paper, especially when you see the names and you think about the storylines that's been building up, in particular between Sexy Star and Chavo. But to see the tag match play out itself, it just came up a little bit flat. Phoenix, Pentagon Jr., their chemistry didn't seem like it was quite there. The little bit that they were able to take each other on, nothing compared to what they did about 2 weeks ago, I believe it was. Definitely, it came off a little bit flat. And I'm not saying the match was total garbage. Don't get that twisted. Not saying that in any type of way. But not the strongest main event. And I think there's probably going to be a decent amount of you guys that would agree with me on that one. Sexy Star, Phoenix, they had picked up the victory for that main event match as a flying double knee drop is basically how the victory was obtained. Not the strongest main event though, but overall I would definitely have to say the show this week, it was a little bit so-so. I mean, they continued the mix of, hey, we got a little bit of something for everybody, including what we saw with Pimpinela and all that. Really had enjoyed that, but not the strongest executed episode I've seen from them thus far. And I've been watching all the episodes since day one. But I see what's kind of trending right now on Twitter is Curb Your Enthusiasm's Larry. As there's pictures of him, and it's like, that Lucha Underground, pretty good. And I would say that this week's episode, pretty good. I'll definitely admit that. If you have not started checking out the Lucha Underground promotion, my friends, you're really missing out, as you really need to make it be your business to check out the Lucha Underground promotion. You can do so a number of ways. Of course, we hook you up with our reviews. If you're not sure if you get the El Rey Network for your cable/satellite provider, you want to head on over to the El Rey Network website at elreynetwork.com. You'll see the Lucha Underground banner, click on it, and then you'll be able to put in your zip code, and you'll find out what channel you can get Lucha Underground for in your respected area, along with the cable satellite provider that has that channel. But that is definitely going to do it. It has been a very busy week. If you haven't done so already, and this is just a shout out to those of you that need some more of a wrestling fix. If you haven't done so already, do check out a special RCWR show radio edition that is now uploaded here on YouTube, or you can check it out on the downloads if you want. All the links you need is in the episode description. There was a nice deluxe episode that we had released of our talk of CM Punk and his whole interview with Colt Cabana the first go round. We actually did a volume 2, not as long as volume 1. I'll probably be releasing that the beginning of this week coming up. We also broke the news about CM Punk joining the UFC. And there is a very interesting excerpt that we did on Saturday's weekend edition of the RCWR show, where we talked about CM Punk and Lucha Underground. So make sure you check that out. It should be available by the time you all get done seeing this. I would love to get your thoughts on that. It's some great stuff. And once again, if it's your first time checking us out, love to have you subscribe to us so you never miss out on all the great content we do for you here on a weekly basis. One more time, if you enjoyed this, please make sure you give this a like, Google Plus it, retweet it, Facebook it. As always, is one of many ways you can spread the good word about our content. Until next go round, as our next show will be coming up Monday night, December 8th, 2014. at 11:15 p.m. Eastern or immediately after WWE Raw. It's a all-new The RCWR Show live web show. Catch me and my broadcast partner, the evil genius of professional wrestling, wrestling manager extraordinaire, TNA Online Gut Check finalist Titus Machiavelli, as we'll give a full rundown on what came about from Monday's WWE Raw, sprinkled in with a little bit of wrestling news. So make sure you join us for that episode. Should be a very good one. Until next go round, Black Avenger Lee Sanders, wishing all of you all to be safe and most importantly, be kind to one another. We will see you next go round. Everybody do take care.